Everybody, welcome to BBTV, and we have our very special guest and co-host and part of our team, Positive Girl Gets Fit, Takesha Anderson, and she is here. I'm so excited. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting to launch this fitness extension of our channel, and finally the time has come. And it is a new year, so I'm sure you're going to be excited the things she's going to share. So before we begin, just let me kind of do my. I gotta turn on my. Oops, wait, okay. Sorry. I do that every time. Sorry, everybody. So anyway, so if you're watching from a laptop, which is very rare, you can click on the banner on the bottom of the screen, which will allow you to ask questions and subscribe to Takesha's Instagram and her YouTube channel. If you have not, we all know that she's very well known in the community. So fortunately, there's some newbies out there watching that can catch on to your journey. So how are you tonight, first of all?
I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty well. It's been a long day, but it's been good.
And how are your holidays? How was your Christmas and your New Year's?
Oh my gosh, Christmas was really good. We just decided to, as far as the kids go, give them their own monies to where they can buy their own things. So that turned out exceptionally well. They got what they wanted. So it was a good Christmas, very low-key New Year. So it was great overall.
I'm so happy. What about your dishes? I know you were talking about making some vegan dishes for you and Jamie. Did it work out? I know you were kind of anxious.
That did not happen. I think we went out to a Japanese place on Christmas, and the kids were spending time with my mom. So I got to skate out of that. So, so yeah, it didn't happen. But
well, there's always next year, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So let's talk about BBT Fitness. What kind of birth are we having with this extension that we have on the show? Why don't you explain to people where we're going with this and what we hope to achieve, and then we'll, kind of go from there.
Okay. Well, BBTV Fitness is all about you. It's all about, getting you from point A to point B and the So like all that is intermixed with getting you from point A to point B. So that's nutrition, and then that's fitness. But that's also, I think, more of an education of food, and also more of an education of your fitness. So instructional videos will be definitely something that I do, whereas right now I just do my regular videos. For those of you that do follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to my videos. And I do not do like step-by-step things. So that's really what I want to focus on for this channel, is to really give you some good workout tips, some good workouts that you can follow along with me and do in the comfort of your home. As far as the nutritional front, I definitely want to give you some things that I have learned along the way when it comes to, protein, when it comes to different particular diets, whether that be, or I should say lifestyle. Whether that be you're doing, all meat, you're a carnivore, or whether you're, maybe taking a different route, doing vegetarianism or maybe veganism. So I'm going to kind of give you a grand view of different ideas, food-wise, that you can kind of incorporate into your daily meals.
That's awesome. Will you also be focusing on maybe helping some people? I know a lot of people that start, I know we're kind of out there, but a lot of people start and they wonder as they move into their balance, like after the first 3 stages, we start to enter 6 months and 8 months. Cause I know Shannon's, going to go in that direction. Like snacks that like staples, if you will, cause I know a lot of us started out with certain staples, and some of us got education and material when we first started and some of us didn't. So do you plan on possibly maybe, giving your view or your review on some of the powders you felt were the best tasty for you, or, just even handheld things that you can place in your purse, things like that? Do you have plans for that?
Definitely. I think that's pivotal to always, I'm a car eater, so I get kind of nervous when I don't have things in the car. So it's good for me to have things on hand. I always put something extra in my lunch bag so that I know when I get off of work, I have something good for me to eat that's in my lunch bag that I can kind of snack on the way to the house. I don't know why I do that, but I just do. And definitely you need to have those go-to snacks, because then that kind of alleviates the overeating that you might have once you say, okay, I haven't eaten since, 2 o'clock, this afternoon, and it's now 8. I'm about to tear up the entire house. So we want to kind of give you, some things. I normally eat every 2 to 3 hours. So for me, I want to give you some good things that you can, keep in your purse or keep in your pocket, so that you are not doing the overeating thing. And yeah, definitely we'll review some products that I have tried in the past that I thought tasted pretty well and that worked well with me, whether that was protein or protein shakes, recovery stuff, as far as when you're working out. What are some of the best snacks to eat? Pre-workout and post-workout. Those will be some things that I kind of throw at you in little segments. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, because I think a lot of people don't realize that there are certain things that boost your metabolism before you start working out. I mean, I never knew that myself until I watched someone that goes to the gym relentlessly, and he has like a regimen, where he does it before, you know what I mean? And he says, oh, you do this because you need the energy, and then you do protein. I think it was right after the workout, And so one great thing about what your plans are is that I think some of us, like you and I, that are out 3.5 years, or, whatever direction we're going in, as far as after 2 years, we forget about shakes. Cause I know I remember just recently you were kind of, before you had some stuff happen, you were starting to kind of go back to the basics, and you were saying in the camera as you were driving to work, this is just a banana, you know what I mean, and just some powder. And it's like, I think people just realize that when you go to your clinic and you see your nutritionist, you're so encouraged to try to get your proteins and things like that from food, that you forget that you can still, use those as supplements, and they're still very useful. I mean, I feel like they're very sustaining, you know what I mean? I think some people but then there's people like Tanya. I mean, I've seen Tanya say that she also does a shake, I believe, relentlessly in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. So there are certain people, that have regimens that never sort of diverted away from that, So I'm really happy to hear that.
I was speaking with a lady. I went to my support group meeting, and I think this was last week or the week before last. And we were kind of speaking about, regimens, and she's had her surgery the day before me, and she has not wavered as far as the things that she eats. She's still eating the same things. She's 1 pound away from her goal. She looks fantastic. She hasn't had a gain, which I can't say that. But that again is, changes in my diet versus she's just been on an even keel. So protein shakes are good on the go. They're good to have even after 3-4 years. I mean, if you keep it, as part of your lifestyle, that's fine. Nothing is to say that you can't have a protein shake, when you're so many years out, that you totally need to, rely on food to be your source of protein, or to be your source of getting in your carbs, or what may have you. You can still go back to basics, and you can still, have a protein shake here and there. Some people do it every day. Some people are good with that, and they do it every single day for breakfast, and that's fine. But there are some benefits to the protein shakes, after workout, that just help build you as far as your recovery, help build your muscles back, get them back to where they need to be, less soreness, things of that nature. So I don't shun the protein shake. I think it's good. Here and there. I don't think it's an everyday thing. I don't think you should have it to be your staple the entire day, but I do think that one is totally fine.
Yeah, it's funny too, because I don't know if you're familiar with Nurse Professor Ray, but I know that she actually had plastics recently, and she was talking about she comes in and out of YouTube, periodically, and she kind of shares what she's doing. And one of the things that she shared prior to, I believe, her plastics, was she was actually taking in like 4 shakes or something due to a benefit that was happening in the content of the shake. So, like I said, I think just letting people, realize that no matter what they hear or what they do or what they say or others, others' opinions, that shakes are always useful. I mean, like you said, whether you're incorporating that into fitness, because even my mom's not a, a Weight Watcher, I'm sorry, a WLS person, but she's a dieter, and that's her, when she's kind of getting out there, you know what I mean? When she knows she's getting out of the box where she's just like, okay, whoa, I need to slow down, then she uses those, and actually they really work. So I'm really happy to hear that you're going to kind of explain the way that they work and what the purpose of them is for. So my second question was, I know you talked about videos. So are you going to be doing like a series of videos where those that are just starting out can do some basic steps? Are you going to do instructional, or are you going to necessarily like just kind of do like an intro, video and then kind of work out? Or are you going to do it more sort of like a DVD type of, setting?
Well, initially, what I want to do is for beginners, intermediate, and advanced people, is kind of have each workout show you the breakdown. So, if we're doing a step workout, I'm going to show you what you can do as a beginner. And then as an intermediate person, I'm going to show you the moves that you can do. And then as an advanced person, I'm going to give you those as well. So within one video, I want to kind of give you a broad view as to what you can do depending on, your level. But yes, I would like to also do instructional videos to where I'm doing something solely for beginners, and then for intermediate and advanced, to just kind of give people that, okay, I love what you do, and I've heard this before, I love what you do, I think it's great, but I can't do that because I'm gonna break every bone in my body.
Well, it's funny that you're saying that, because as you were talking, I was just thinking that one of the primary things I hear when I watch new people, or even people that are kind of moving into, like I said, 6 months, 7 months, a lot of people have had problems with their back or their knees. And so, stepping is kind of difficult, I feel like, for a beginner. That's why I asked, because it's a great, I love step, actually. It actually made me realize how uncoordinated I really am, but it's very fun. It really is. I mean, I used to do it years ago and it was very fun, but I just was wondering if you were gonna like I was saying, because there's a lot of people out there that I think, even when we were on the Pretty Looters, we were talking about, she was, is it Patricia? I'm sorry. Is that her name?
Yeah,
she was talking about that she looked all over, you know what I mean? And for the larger person, she couldn't find anybody to kind of really show her how to begin and just how to have some basics. So I'm really excited to hear that you're going to kind of have a series with that. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was, going back, I have always had my bouts with, trying to work out, trying to do different things, even at my heaviest. So I can go back and I can think about, when I was at my heaviest, what are the things that I was doing? What was I doing to push myself? What kind of workouts, did I attempt? So I can go back to that and rethink some things and be like, okay, well, this was good. This helped me. This kind of pushed me. And so I don't want to be a yes person. I don't want to say, okay, well, we're going to do, just 2 sets of this. No, you need to push yourself. You need to get yourself to where you want to be. Because ultimately, if, we have those yes people and they're like, no, you don't need to do that, then you're going to still be in the same place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that I am targeting everybody, trying to meet everybody's needs when it comes to the workouts, making sure that I'm cognizant and aware, where people are, because just because I'm here doesn't mean that somebody else can, touch their toes and all this other crap.
Yeah, so, no, that's true. That's true. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
And what's your, as we're talking about this, I'm just thinking, what is your opinion on, even for myself, because trust me, I mean, after going through this revision process and finding out that I really don't meet the BMI requirements, I mean, they're just, what they started me with and what we ended up with is just not what he said he wanted, was gonna happen. Okay. And so I'm now focusing on, okay, how can I change and what can I do? So my question to you as just a beginner myself is, do you really feel that when you, because there's a lot of people like me that don't really care for the gym. I have anxiety in the gym. I do. I mean, I have a gym membership, but I really do have anxiety in the gym. So do you feel that, you know, using machines and so on and so forth are really like sincerely useful when you're starting out? Like, how do you motivate yourself? You know, how do you get yourself to like fitness? Because there's a lot of us like me that don't necessarily, I mean, I don't mind walking, but any kind of fitness for me really is a chore. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just like a retard that way. So I mean, I'm serious. I don't get it. Why I don't like it.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. And there are a lot of people that are like that. They just, it grates at their soul to even consider going to the gym or working out or doing any type of form of, organized workouts, whether that be, at home or whether that be at the gym or what may have you. So I kind of want to, the only thing I can really say to that is that you got to do what you like. If you like to dance, there's, step, as far as actual Chicago step, things like that. There's line dancing, there's hip hop dance. There's so many forms of dance that you could do that you could burn a sweat. You can definitely you can get a sweat, burn some calories, get your heart rate up, sustain your heart rate, and be able to really maximize what it is that you're liking to do, which is dancing. So that's my base. Think of something that you like to do. If it's swimming, do swimming. If that's just starting out walking, just walking it. And I've done that, just walking the lap. I'm not that tall, so I've had to be over in the kiddie side, but
you're making me. That's funny. Girl, you're so funny.
The pool length several times. That has happened. And when I became, more advanced, I would, try to run the pool length, and then I would try to swim the pool length. So if swimming is your thing, try that, or try swim aerobics. You can definitely burn calories, definitely great for your joints. Definitely not as hard on your joints. And you're actually, in some cases, you get more of a burn doing that because of the resistance of the water. So yeah, that's another great workout. But yeah, you got to start with, what do I love to do? And that is what's going to keep you motivated, because if you love doing, the workout, you're going to be like, man, I want to go back and try that again and see if I can do all the steps, or see if I can run the lap maybe 4 times instead of the 2 times that I did. You're going to want to try to push yourself because you like doing what it is that you're doing. So that's my take.
I think for me over the years, even before surgery, it was very difficult. The only thing I think I really caught on to that really I discovered was fun for me, and I did it at home, which is even like, how did I do that? Like, how did I do that every day? Was Tae Bo. I mean, I got a hold of these, in my day, VHSs. But I mean, I was doing this Tae Bo, and the kids would laugh. I had boys. Yeah, my boys would say, Mom, I cannot believe you're doing that. And, it was the only thing I think in my fitness, anything that I've ever tried over the years, that I actually got excited to get home and do,
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. Another thing I really liked doing was, I took a pole dancing class. I know it was silly, but I was at my lowest, and I just wanted to do.
Yeah,
well, I mean, we weren't good at it. Trust me. I mean, I met someone from the community, which was awesome. She was so nice. I mean, she was so sweet to meet me just randomly, because there was no one that was going to go with me. And I just wanted to try something new. It wasn't, to be sexy. I wasn't trying to find confidence in there. I was just trying to find out if I had any strength, to be honest, because someone had told me prior, it takes a lot of upper body strength to do that.
Yes.
And the teacher said, you cannot climb a pole if it was to save your life. I mean, I could spin, but I could not, you know what I mean? I realized I just did not have the upper body strength that particular, I don't know, type of class, required. So I gave it up. But I mean, it was fun while I was doing it, and I was really happy I tried it. you know?
Yeah.
And one thing else I wanted to bring to light in the community is, I don't know how many people have seen this person. I can't remember her screen name, but we have a hula hooper. I don't know if you've seen her. She has I want to say, is it Nexie Cats? I'm not sure, but I know that there's a person out there in the community that's real, that does hula hoop, and it's really cool. Like, I mean, what an odd, you know what I mean? What an odd thing to like catch on to, but it works for her, and it seems really, cool. And I personally have always wanted to try belly dancing just because I have an apple shape, and I thought maybe that'll help. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of forms. There's a lot of forms that you can try other than just trying to work out at home or at a gym. You could try a class and things like that. So I really honestly think those are good encouragers.
I think she is definitely one of the examples, one of the great examples of doing something that you love to do and sticking with that. She has been doing hula hooping, gosh, I want to say for a few years now, for as long as I can remember. I've been following her for quite a while, and I see her on Instagram and I see her on Facebook, and she's even on Periscope. I don't know if she's doing videos or live things on Periscope, but I know she is on Periscope. But excuse me, you can see it in her face. You can see it in her movements. You can see it in her dance. You can see it in her entire production that she loves what she is doing. And she has a great following. She's awesome. And she's a grandmother. Like, this chick is kicking butt. And so at any age, you know what I'm saying, you can pick up something and you can really bring it to life because you are loving it. And you can just see it all over her face. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of, when they're first starting out, I think I've heard a lot of people talk about like maybe running, or doing something. Because I mean, I guess they say running is really freeing, and I've never ran, so I don't know, much about that part of fitness. But I know there's a lot of people that once they discover it, they swear by it, that it just frees them in some way, and it's a form of stress relief and so on and so forth. So I just have never done it myself. But I feel like, there's so many types of fitness that you can do. And, I think there's a lot of people that one thing I can say by watching videos in myself is that when you begin this journey, or any weight loss period, I mean, I think if you don't try to incorporate fitness from the beginning and you kind of wait for your loss to happen first, because I think even the doctors will tell you, focus on, your diet, get all that in check, you know what I mean? And then kind of incorporate fitness. And I've seen a lot of people in our community make videos and say, if there was the one thing I could go back and do, from kind of early on, is really try to, put this in my being, because such people like you, that have just gotten so dedicated to it. It's like, I'm sure, I mean, I remember when you had your accident and you were like, this is who I am. What if, and unfortunately, I mean, I'm so glad that you came back with a vengeance, but I'm saying that people that cannot do, or, that's taken away for whatever reason, I mean, it's like, it becomes like kind of like taking a shower, brushing your teeth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've always dreamt about having that in my blood, but I never have like had that thirst, or that endurance for fitness. So,
it's definitely like, putting my clothes on in the morning. If I don't have my gym bag, there's an issue. Either, there's something going on during the day and, I can't miss that thing. So I have to do that versus working out. I mean, something detrimental really has to be going on for me not to work out during the week. Now on the weekend, I'm kind of here and there because I worked out all week. So I kind of give myself that allowance. But even still, when it's Saturday or Sunday and I see people posting on Facebook and they're like, ran 5 miles, or I just walked I'm like, where is my workout clothes? Because I'm about to get in. That totally motivates me, seeing other people work out. For me, it's total motivation, because I'm just like envious, like, why she just got it in, and it's like raining outside, it's snowing. So I mean, you got to build up to that point. You're not going to just automatically be there. Definitely going back to what you stated about fitness in the beginning. That is, for me, that was pivotal. That was crucial. Like, I needed to have a regimen at the get-go. So when I got out, and as soon as I could, I think I was like maybe out less than a week, I was up and I was walking like at least 1 mile, trying to, you know, get myself pushed to 2 miles, trying to get myself to 3 miles. And I felt good about that. But no, you shouldn't. If you're a newbie and you're listening, do not wait until you have that aha moment, or until you're in that size 12 pair of jeans, or until you think it's okay for you to start including a workout plan. From the gate, you should be trying to figure out what it is that you like to do, what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to see your body do, because those are the things, that's what's going to help you build your body. That's what's going to help you shape your body. So you can look like a candle if you want to, but at the end of the day, starting from the beginning is going to help you so much more when you're towards that finish line. You're not going to look like, you know, a bag of wax. It's just, that's just the thing. You know, how I look now, I wouldn't have looked this way had I said, okay, I'm going to wait until I'm a year out or 6 months out and then start a plan.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Let's see, what else goes with this? What else do you think, okay, so how about hydration? A lot of people don't, we mentioned hydration, but how important is it in this process to, you know, to keep the flow of your metabolism and, you know, just having the energy to work out and so on and so forth? So what's your opinion on fitness with the nutrition and vitamins and hydration? How do you put that together with yourself? Do you have a requirement? Do you feel like not like yourself if you don't have a certain amount? Or, because I know a lot of people struggle with hydration, including myself. So how do you feel hydration plays a role in this thing we're doing here?
Hydration plays a major role, especially with who we are as far as bariatric patients, and just in general. You really want to keep the blood pumping. You really want to keep the blood flowing, and you really want to have water provides energy as well to your working out. So you're able to expend and you're able to do more when you're fully hydrated versus when you're not. As far as the amount of water, I do anywhere from, you know, 8 to 10 glasses. If I'm trying to be really super, I'll do maybe 13 glasses of water a day. Sometimes it's hard for me to get in my water. I'm not going to front. Sometimes I'm just like, why?
Yeah, really. I know.
Or, you know, I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. Yeah. We're not going to take care of each other.
Yeah.
So there are days that I do have that, and I have to really, really push myself to get my water in. But it is pivotal. You have to have your water. You have to be hydrated, because otherwise you can have exhaustion. Otherwise you can become really sick. You can have dizzy spells, fainting. A lot of things can occur when you're not fully hydrated and you're expending a lot of as far as burning a lot of calories in your workout. So really want to stay on top of that and make sure, you know, that you're keeping yourself hydrated.
Yeah, the last thing is I wanted to talk about is, what is your opinion, or what have you found for your journey and how you can share with others this whole caloric controversy of, should I count my calories? Should I, you know what I mean? Should I just stay around a range? Should I do a calculator? Should I do an app? I mean, how do you feel about calories? Because I know for myself, as a smaller case, when I started, I mean, they put me on 1,200 right away. You know what I mean? But I was not an over 100-pound loser. So, you know, they didn't really worry so much about, you know, because I kept like pressing, like, oh my goodness, you know, aren't you gonna, because I heard so many people saying, oh, I'm only on 800, you know, or, oh, I'm only on, you know, 850 or something. And I was like, how come I'm not on that? Like, I don't get it. Like, maybe that's why I'm not losing. So what is your take on counting calories and so on and so forth? How important do you think that is for others, or just in general with starting or even maintaining?
Yeah. Starting out, I think I may have been on 800 calories, but the thing with my surgeon is that he never set a caloric, like he never gave me a number. and he still has never given me a number as to where I should be. Now my nutritionist, she's good for that, and she's, about 1,000 to 1,200 calories when I was first starting out. But he himself, he's like, that's nothing that he's involved with. So your nutritionist really needs to have that one-on-one conversation with you, and really it's going to depend on what you're doing. So if you're, if you live in a sedentary lifestyle, then of course your calories are going to be a little bit lower than someone that is working out, 4 to 5 times a week. They're really going to need more of a boost. They're really going to need more calories versus that other person. So for me, first starting out, normally it's about 800 calories. You're really fighting to get those calories in. I don't know if I was counting calories when I first started, though. I just was trying to get my protein in, to be honest with you. And I really struggled with getting my protein, my water, and my vitamins in. And it was just like, I just remember, my videos would be like, everything is a number. Mm-hmm. My number with my protein, my number with, my water, my number with my vitamins, making sure I have 1,500, milligrams of this and, 1,000 milligrams of that. And everything was a number, and I was so overwhelmed. But, excuse me, that's really going to make a difference. What type of lifestyle are you living will really make a difference in the type of calories that you really need to get in. So first starting out, I would say around 800 to 1,000 calories, if you can. Try to get that in. Really focusing more so on your protein is what they want you to do, because that's going to help you with the recovery as far as with your stomach. Now, after that, once you have gotten into the swing of things with your food, you're working on your workout plan, then that's when you're going to be more individualistic and try to figure out what's going to work with you. Some people are, if it fits my macros. Some people are, I'm just going to stick with, okay, I'm going to do so much protein, and I'm going to do so much of my carbs, and I'm going to do so much of, the extra stuff. So they're not really working on calories more so than they are trying to make sure that they're within their numbers when it comes to, their proteins, and trying to stay as low as they can on their carbs. But that's going to change. Like I said, throughout your lifestyle, throughout, your lifetime, those numbers are going to change. So I work with my Fitness Pal, and I'm at a 1,200 calorie, what is that? I'm just at 1,200 calories for my Fitness
Like maintaining Pal. At that number, that works for you. So that keeps you.
Yeah, that works for me to let me know, okay, this is what I've done. This is where I'm at. I normally go over because I've worked out. Yeah. And so that 1,200 is just like, that's the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of just telling me where I am with things. I don't really focus on the calories so much, though, just because I'm focusing on other things that really aren't in relation to the calories. So I really want to make sure, especially with the type of lifestyle that I've changed over to, that I am getting in sufficient amount of protein, and, making sure that my carbs are staying somewhat low, which is kind of hard on this diet that I'm on, or lifestyle that I'm on. So, you really have to be a little bit more individualistic later on, after that, 6-month holy grail time, lovely time. You really want to just focus on, okay, what is it that I'm doing, and how are my calories going to kind of mirror that, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I'm really, I want to request to really do maybe, at some point do some, because I think people forget that they have to eat more, right?
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to try to, I don't know what it varies per person, how you're going to incorporate how much time you spend and what type of working out you do. Because I'm sure everybody gets more advanced as they go, and they find what they like. There's a lot of people that do Zumba and things like that. So I think from what I've seen and what I've heard just in observance, I feel like people start having questions because they forget they need to increase right? With that rapid
Yeah.
movement, instead of worrying so much about one number, you know, because
Oh,
I mean, even my fitness pal is very basic. That's why I like it, because it will subtract, I think, right? I think it subtracts
yeah.
what, you know what I mean? So those
Well,
types of apps are very simple.
yeah, it'll give you more. So let's say, you know, my calories are 1,200 and I expended 400 calories, you know, doing whatever exercise during my session, then it's going to up my calories to 600 calories. It's giving me that extra because it knows that, well, I've exerted that, so I need that to put it back in my system, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So so it does give you your calories back that you've expended to where you can eat. But with that, you don't want to go crazy with the cheese whiz. So if you have now 600, 1,600 calories, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you get to eat a pizza at the end of the night, because whatever you did in the gym, that's counterproductive. You've kind of
Yeah.
just canceled out your gym
Yeah.
workout.
Yeah,
So
and I hope that also, like, I know you and I were talking before we began the show that I think there's a lot of people that need some help in education, understanding how much diet revolves around
yeah,
fitness. I mean, I think, you know, diet leads, or, you know, well, let's not say diet, but healthy
yes,
eating, clean eating, good habits lead you into positive fitness. Because I feel like you're saying, you know, some people don't understand the way the food is processing in their body when when you're working out. That, I think that's where the cheat day originated, right? You know what I mean? Like, you get one day to do whatever you want, or some people have different takes on
yeah,
that. But I feel like, you know, there's some people that don't understand how important diet is when it comes to working out. I think people think that, or, you know, just some people in general have the idea that, okay, well, if I just work out, just, you
yeah,
know, in general, that I can eat or I can drink coffee, you know, because even I know they've made a lot of sort of good points about drinking calories. I was telling Takesha before we began the show that I just recently saw a seminar for UCLA for a new surgery they're doing for revisions, and he said the top mistakes that people make is drinking their calories. And it's not even really focusing on soda or any carbonated, you know, sort of dangerous things, but even just, you know, thinking that maybe something sugar free or so on and so forth can just, you know, be innocent, when any too much of consumption of anything, right, you know,
yes,
cannot be good for you. So I think people have just sometimes a misconception of the way diet and fitness balance each other, you know. So I'm hoping
yeah.
that maybe you can do a segment, or a small, you know, show, you know, a small video or something on that, just explaining how important it is, you know. Because I think
Yeah,
some people also get confused, you know. Not only do and like you said, overwhelmed. Like, you have all these things that you have to do, right? You have to get in your protein, you have to get in your water, you have to do all these things, and you already feel overwhelmed. But then you get into your 2, 3, 4 year mark, and you're so used to routine, but you still have to, and especially if you've incorporated fitness,
mhm.
and maybe regain, you know, starts to set in a little bit, and you have to kind of you have to go back and restructure, you know, you have to revise yourself and
Yeah.
re-originate a whole new plan. I think just, you know, sometimes people just don't understand the way diet and fitness balance. So
Yeah,
what is your opinion on that?
and I love the whole cheat meal and cheat days and cheat weeks. Those are great. But that's if you are going to have a cheat gain. So if your plan is to gain weight, however that happens, you're going to do that. I'm perfect example of that. I've had a cheat day and it has evolved into a cheat week, and
Yeah.
I've had a gain.
Yeah.
So and that's just what you're doing. You are putting too much of one thing into your body, so you're going to get you're going to get too many calories, therefore you're going to have a gain. It's just the nature of it. You can't say, okay, for breakfast I'm going to have a protein shake, for lunch I'm going to have a salad with a side of chicken, grilled chicken, and I'm going to do really well, I'm going to work out, and then at dinner we're going to go to Carrabba's and I'm going to do the pasta wheezy, and then I'm going to get some tiramisu. But that's okay because I've worked out and I've had good meals throughout the day. You can't do that. That doesn't make sense.
See,
So,
but I'm seriously glad you're bringing this out, because they get confused as to, okay, I'm 4 or 5 years out and I've gained 20 pounds. Well,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, people have a misconception. I think we all did when we started this, that this was going to be the cure all, maybe not a cure forever, but it was going to keep us, in this safe window. Cause I know that's what I thought, I thought, geez, if anything, I'll gain 15 pounds or something in the next, 3 to 5 years, and 30 pounds, crept up on me, and it was half of what I lost. And I was like, what is happening? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, am I doing, and it's strange, because as much as we have these, what do you call them? Like these crazes, sort of on social media about Starbucks and coffee, and, all these sort of addictions, we have. I used to love Starbucks. I still like it. I like actually homemade coffee more than I like, going out and getting coffee anymore, because I've learned, I can use spices and so on and so forth. But another thing I used to love as well, even though I knew it was bad, was Jamba and all of those things. I guess I'm just learning that I am not a person that needs or has to have, you know what I mean? Like, absolutely has to have those things. So it's not really a, oh, I'm sad that I don't have it, or, oh, I'm excited that I have it. I just, once in a while, I'll be like, but every single time I get it, it gives me nothing. It's kind of like, when you have the surgery, then you eat something that you used to love, and then all of a sudden you're like, gosh, this is not doing it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is so awesome that you said that, because Jamie and I were talking earlier, and I was talking to him about, my coffee, and I was like, I found some, for those of you that don't know, I'm now vegan, and I was like really excited. I found some some dairy-free coffee creamer, and I had to really think about it, like, okay, so what is that giving me? Like, it's still coffee. Do I really need it? Is that something because of my routine? Because I'm gonna tell you my day. My day is, I go into work. Normally I try to eat before I go into work, but sometimes I eat at my desk when I go into work. And then about 30 minutes later, I'd still do the 30-minute rule. I have my coffee. And then after that, I have my water. And then after that, I have my morning snack. And then after that, I work out. And then after that, I eat my lunch. And then after that, I have my snack on my way home. That is my plan. That is what I do daily. So I have to think about the fact that these are just routines. Like, these are just things that I just automatically do. I'm just in cruise control. I'm just doing these things. But do I really need to do them? And I think a lot of times when we have the surgery and we're looking for, different things to cling to or to look at, to have that normalcy, that feeling of how we used to feel or revere food. And we see somebody's posted, something about Starbucks, and we're like, man, now I didn't think I could have Starbucks, but I can have Starbucks. And you're just wanting Starbucks because you want Starbucks, not because you need it, but because you see somebody else has it and you say, oh, I can do it too. I can have it too.
Yeah.
It makes no sense as to why you're drinking Starbucks. Is that part of your routine? Is that something that you need to have? You're just drinking these empty calories just because you saw somebody else have them, or you saw you saw someone looking like they were happy to be drinking that product. Does that make sense? So
no, it totally does. It totally does. Yeah.
If I'm looking at you and you have your Starbucks cup and you have it and it's looking all pretty, you got the whipped cream with the cherry on the top, and you got your straw, and you're smiling in your picture, you're like, man, I want that. You don't want that because you need it. You want that because you see somebody else has it and they look like they're having fun. They look like they're excited. You know what I'm saying? So, we have to really rethink how we look at food, how we revere food, our relationship with food, because at the baseline, we aren't getting cut because we just like food. We have an addiction to food, and that's a real thing. And however you cut it, it's an addiction to food. I don't care what people say. I've seen some videos here lately. It's an addiction to food. skinny people just don't have those problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, like my son, okay, here's a perfect example. I have two sons. I have one that's 26 and one that's 23. They have two different, they have two, what do you call it? Physiques. They have two different, very different body types. And my oldest son is very small framed. It's just his dad's family was like that. So he could eat and eat and eat and eat and eat as much as he wants to, but he will literally have to probably take supplements if he really wants to put on some decent weight, as he grows into him. I mean, as he gets older into his real manhood, because right now he's still in his 20s. But then I have the other son that I tell all the time. I mean, he's addicted to fast food. He's not heavy, but I tell him, you're eating fast food, like, especially on his days off. I mean, for lunch, for dinner, and he does not take the time. And I try, I know my little sort of powwows with him do work, because the other day I was very impressed. I got him to not only take his probiotic, but I also got him to make him a couple of eggs, so he could eat on the way to work. And I told him, and I've really learned, like, I don't know how people feel about eggs, but one of the things I love about eggs, period, no matter how you make them, is they sustain you. It's like oatmeal. I mean, oatmeal's a little bit more, on the carby side, but eggs sincerely sustain you. They don't upset your stomach depending on what you put on them, those types of things. So I was trying to teach my son, as well, that breakfast is, really important anyway, because it sustains us into the afternoon. But so there's, like, I've just meant there's people that can try and try and try, but just by nature, you know what I mean? They just aren't meant to be heavy. And then there's people that fight all their lives, and come from generations, of obesity, and primarily, diabetes comes, into play somewhere in there. But it's just very, very difficult and I think even though my sons are small, I tell them, don't think that you're not susceptible to diabetes, because it runs in our family, so I just think that some people have to try harder than others,
Oh yeah. I mean, genetics, just overall what's going on with you, if you have any, illnesses or any, any leanings towards, one particular, like we have Alzheimer's, we have cancer, we have diabetes, we have hypertension, we have high blood pressure, you name it, we have it in our family on both sides of my family, my father and my mother's side. All of for the most part, I'm gonna say 98% of my family is overweight or obese. So yeah, we run the gamut of diseases. And, for me, that's one of the reasons why I'm at where I'm at when it comes to my diet, my lifestyle change, is because I don't want that to be me. And I will be transitioning my kids to that lifestyle as well, because I don't want that to be their story as well. I don't want them to have to be cut just because, they ate too much, or just because, life is what it is and they just couldn't put the fork down, or their addiction was so tough that they just couldn't, back away from the food. So I want to give them a different story. I want them to have, a different upbringing versus what I had. Not to say that it was horrible, but I just want them to do something different, and something that's a little bit healthier for them. So yeah, a lot of things can play a role.
Yeah. Will you be also incorporating anything in the series over time of when you're out and about? I know a lot of people don't, because there are two things I was meaning to get to, and it just popped in my mind. One is actually eating out, period, like you were talking about the restaurant thing, and then also meal prepping. Like, I have never been a meal prepper because I'm a very systematic person. So no matter what I'm doing or where I'm going, I'm the same. I do the same, you know what I mean? Wherever I'm going, but I don't have a 9 to 5. I mean, I did, like you, but I still kept, because we had a cafeteria. I worked for Blue Shield, and they have a very big restaurant type cafeteria. So there was a lot of help yourself bars and things like that, where you could actually eat something healthy. They had pre-boiled eggs and so on and so forth. So it was safe for me to eat in that environment. But meal prepping and eating out, will you be, sort of emphasizing the importance of any of those, or how-tos with that? Because I'm sure anybody that will watch this in the future will wonder, what about that? What do I do when I'm out and about and I just feel, cross? What do I order? Where do I go? Kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, it's just so important. It's so important to know what it is you're eating. if you are following MyFitnessPal, if you're following apps like that, it's just so much easier to do it when you know that you've planned your meal for the day, you've incorporated, you've measured your food or whatever. You just want to know. For me, that's the thing, and that's what I tell people all the time. I just want to know what I'm eating. I don't care what it is. I never go to work without my lunch bag. You just won't see me. If you see me, you see my lunch bag. As ugly as my lunch bag is, you see me and my lunch bag. I never. And that's just because I need to be set up. Like, I need my snacks. I need my meals. Nobody's going to feed me like I feed myself. And nobody's going to love you like you love yourself. So I need to make sure that I'm packed fully, that I have what I need and what is going to sustain me for the day. So I make sure that I, put in an extra snack just in case something happens to where I need to do something after work. I try to plan that. And so, yes, definitely. I don't like to, I'm sorry about going on these tangents, but I do.
No, I'm glad you were.
I think that's so important. And yes, I will be definitely bringing you some meal prep ideas. Definitely tell you what's in, my lunch bag, some good lunch ideas to have for work. I know a lot of people can't, well, I don't want to say a lot of people, but I know some people can't meal prep. So we're just going to do maybe one-nighters, like, pre-pack for the night for that day. Just take it one day at a time. Let's do a meal. So, and that's kind of where I'm at. I do like I made split pea soup and I just finished it like yesterday. So I will make sure that if I do make something like that, that I'm going to eat that continuously throughout the week. I know some people can't deal with it after Wednesday, but I try to make sure that I, take care of what I've prepared and make sure that I eat all of it. So yes.
Well, you seem a lot like you're like me, like where, I agree with you so much. Seriously, I agree with you in terms of having something in your car, something in your purse. I cannot tell you how many times I've been made fun of, and I'll show you. Every couple weeks, I go to the 99-cent store. I'm not kidding, and I find 2 or 3 or 4 of these types of bottles. And I don't, seriously, in our first seminar class, that we go to when we're getting, ready for surgery. And they tell you that you have to go on your kind of trial diet or, your trial thing that they want you to diary and everything. And I think prior to that, I was on Nutrisystem, and Nutrisystem actually taught me, just because I was interested in losing weight at the time, how important it is to eat every 3 hours. I mean, I was doing research on that because I was like, why do I have to eat so much? I'm not used to, I'm a big eater at one time. That's how I was. And I would wait long periods to eat. So I really learned how important it is to eat every 3 hours. Now, what I've confused since surgery is grazing. I've confused what is eating 3 hours and what is putting something in my mouth. You know what I mean? Every 3 hours, whatever I have. But one thing I do always do is have something to drink with me wherever I go.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
People will say, why do you do that? Why do you do that? Well, because, and let me tell you why. I just went somewhere with my sister recently, and she never has anything to drink. And I noticed just in observance that she's more apt to stop, you know what I mean? And buy something, or stop and go through a drive-through, and get it, even though I think she gets a sugar-free tea or something from Starbucks. But to me, I feel like if you just build a system for yourself that's kind of so habitual and so routine, it starts to become, it reverses on you, where it's kind of out of your box to stop somewhere, and buy something when you sort of embed it in yourself that I have my water, or I have because I like Arizona green tea. It has 17 grams of sugar in it, but I use 4 ounces of that and 6 ounces of water just to flavor the water. Another thing I wanted to ask you about having hydration with you all the time is what is your opinion on some of these sweetened sugar-free water additives? I mean, I prefer fresh fruit. Like even yesterday I was out of my tea and I was freaking out because I normally have tea with me all the time. But I sliced up one of those cuties, those little tangerine or whatever they're called, and I put it in my water. And I know everybody Pinterests and all this stuff, but for me, to be honest, the only thing I really like in my water is cucumber, lime, or lemon. That's just me, So when I put a piece of orange in there, I was like, am I really gonna like it? But it was actually, it made me drink the whole bottle of water. So What is your,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of times when people are preparing to get acquainted with this lifestyle, they start going out and buying all these sugar-free, little water additives and so on and so forth. So I kind of wanted to ask you what your opinion was on that, and if you're going to maybe bring up all these different supplements to try to get people to do what they're supposed to do. What is your opinion on, all these additions that you have to, or that people are interested in buying?
Yeah, I can tell you up until last year, and I mean, every now and again, I will do them just like here at the house. We normally, I mean, the kids do the sugar-free packets that we get from Walmart or Kroger or whatever. But and so sometimes I'll drink that. But here in the last little bit, I've just been water and lemon, just water and lemon, and that's sufficient for me. But those things are good, I guess, for those that really, really cannot stomach water. And I know some people that really cannot deal with the taste of water. I don't care how many fruit cocktails you throw in there. They can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good for, for those people to have those sugar-free things, but there's so many chemicals in those products, and the aspartame and just the not good stuff. And, it's like sometimes 5 to 10 calories for these little containers or little packets. So, that adds up as well, especially if you're getting in, 10 glasses of water throughout the day. That's 100 calories if it's a 10 calorie little packet. So, those are things to think about as well. Just because it's 10 calories doesn't mean that you're not going to do that repetitively all throughout the day. If you do have to do something like that, just do it once. And then try to incorporate some fruits into your water. But seriously, like, that's all I do is I have it actually waiting on me at work. So I have it in the morning. I don't have any excuses. I have my water and lemon in the refrigerator at work right now. So that's what helps me to, continually try to get the water down.
Yeah, so, yeah. Well, my sister just flew in from Texas to help with my dad and was talking about that, because I don't really think about it, but she was talking about like having lemon and lime or something in your water all the time is also detoxifying, you know what I mean? Something to do with cleansing and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I don't really think too much about all those cleanses and so on. And I know she asked, there's been a couple of people actually that asked me if I've considered cleansing, and I don't know if you're RNY too, right? I don't think that we can we do those types of things? Because I always get like, I have to ask my doctor. I always say, I have to ask my doctor, because I get scared of these, cleanse pills and
I don't even know
if
I'm sorry. I don't even know if I would call it a cleanse. I mean, I guess it was, I guess we did do a detox. But we watched, what is that? Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
Yeah.
And, which is a great documentary. The first and second one are great. So I did that, and I didn't die. I didn't have any issues. That's all I did was drink juices, whether that be, I mean, there's various kinds. I mean, you can do like kale, you can do spinach, oranges, lemon. I mean, there's so many different things, but even as an RNYer, you can still do those things. I mean,
but not like the Walmart and like the what do you call it, the like GMC and all these health food Sprouts and these places that sell these 3-day cleanse. I think that's what she was. I don't know, but I believe that's what she was talking about. So I get scared.
It's you really just wanting to watch, and that's what I noticed with the detox that we did is. Those juices do have, even though they're from, a natural source from the fruit, is still sugar. And the sugar is quite high in a lot of those juices. So, really being cognizant of that. But I lost like 11 pounds in like a 4-day period. So it was crazy. But I gained it back. So, it worked for the minute that I did it, but nah, I wouldn't suggest doing that.
Well, I thought, because I knew we were doing this fitness show, and I think I said something about on another show. I think I said another show I did for us that what I've noticed, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed that you can gain weight as fast as you can lose it, and you can lose weight as fast as you can gain it, which is weird. I mean, I know that happens in your normal state, you know, before this happens, but I feel like after this, it's even faster to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can have the same kind of motion of loss that you can of gain. And that's why I feel like it's so hard when you teeter. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, you know, you did the cleanse and then you lost it. But so it's almost like I feel like we've morphed into a new level of like being able to gain faster than we could before. When we do try to do, and that's, yeah, I mean, I get confused sometimes because I can feel it in my clothes, like when I'm unconsciously losing weight, you know, because I think at the very end, the very tail end of my experience with my low, you know, is it happened without me really consciously doing it. But I go back and look, and to be honest, with all the stress that's happened with me in the last, I would say 6 or 8 months, I have to say, and I made a video about it, but I didn't post it, which I should have. But I now, it's really weird. I now eat more bread products than I ever have. And I can't figure out mentally, you know, or emotionally why I'm eating so much bread, because obviously it's awful. And I keep thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to do something to my stomach because I'm eating, you know what I mean? I don't engorge in food because I have a limit. I listen to myself when I have a limit, but I have noticed that I've routinely, you know, incorporated this horrible carb thing that I don't know how to undo, but I got this NutriBullet RX, you know what I mean? That I'm gonna, because honestly, I mean, it comes with a book, and it has like all these different recipes, you know, for different things of your body, you know, some for pain, some for joints, some for this, some for that. So it's I'm really in, I mean, I'm serious. I feel like I'm really, with all the stress I have, I really want to try to find a way. That's why I'm so excited about your series, because I'm really searching right now. I'm trying to reach deep, even though I haven't made the changes yet. I'm really trying to reach deep and figure out, how can I lose this weight I gained? I mean, I'm serious. You know, I'm almost 4 years now. I'm halfway, you know, and I've been warned by my clinic saying, if you don't stop now, you're going to be right where you were before. And that's horrifying for me. You know what I mean? Like, even though this is my third personal channel that I've had now, and I come and I go, but now I feel like I don't feel like a failure per se, but I feel like lost with this. Do you know what I mean? I know it's a lifestyle. I know we're doing something. I know we've started the show. I know we're doing this fitness, but for me personally, I'm battling, where did I lose my way? You know what I mean? Because in the beginning, the first 2 years, honestly, I was so focused on just getting in my basics, and just, even when I was regaining and I did the 5-day pouch test, you know, and I started doing, I thought to myself, okay, I'll just do one shake for 1 week, you know, just one supplement shake for 1 week to see if that makes a difference. So that's why I say I'm really excited that we've started this part of extension, because it's not just about movement, you know, it's also about what you're doing. And so I'm hoping to find a medium with what you're teaching us, because I really struggle, you know, and I don't want to be a statistic of 5 years where, I mean, to be honest, revision scares the daylights out of me. I mean, it really does, because the risks are higher. And if I do get to that point of making that decision, I just don't know if I really need it, you know? So I'm hoping that you can teach me. I mean, I'm serious. I'm hoping that I find my way with your, you know, with something that you're showing us that really will just sort of hit a, you know what I mean? Hit that part of my brain that goes, okay, you know, you've had enough. You have to change. So I'm really, really hoping with that.
Yeah, I'm hoping too, and that's really the base of it. You know, it's just making sure that for me, that this is my give back. Like, this is something that I'm totally in love with. I'm totally in love with working out. I'm totally in love with getting people to where they need to be. Nothing brings me more joy than just seeing somebody that I've helped, or something that I've said to someone, or something that they've seen, and they were just like, because of you, or this is what helped me, or when I saw your video, I was able to change this. Or those are things that you just can't buy. You cannot, you just can't. And that is what brings me so much happiness. I really just want to come on here and really meet the needs of, you know, our viewers, and those that really, really need the help, just getting started, just trying to find their mojo, trying to get back to where they need to be. There are several instances of regain, but it's not so much the weight that we really need to focus on, but it's more so, how do we get back to Christina? How do we get back to those that that have lost their way. You know, what is on the inside that is keeping us from getting to our true goals? And at the end of the day, we just want to be happy. You know, who we see, we just want to be happy with that person. So the weight is the symptoms of what it is that's truly going on the inside. So we kind of got to break those barriers and figure out how we can get us back to where we need to be.
Yeah, and I think also I've noticed also in the community, because I was a viewer of I want to say New Toy for Katie, I think it's called. She was out way back in 2010. She was a lap bander, and she lost a lot of weight, and then she had a child, and now she's having a transition from lap band. You know, there's a lot of revisions out there, you know, from lap band into a deeper surgery. So I'm kind of glad also for their sake that we're doing this as well, because they've already kind of been through that lap band, you know, tried to do it a certain way, and now they're going into a more deeper surgery. But the only thing I hope that those people don't lose sight of is that you still have to, I mean, you're still going to reach, you know, that 2 or 3 or 4 year mark, right? Even though you're going through that transition where you're going to still have to, you know, incorporate a systematic part of yourself, like you were saying, that where you have to find, you know, I don't know, balance. That's all I can say. I don't really want to say whole, because it's really just a balance that you have to try to keep and hope that you can stay on that path, you know? I mean, everybody gears off. I mean, it's unrealistic to say, oh, you know, tomorrow I'm not going to have a cupcake or whatever, you know, or I'm going to be out with family and you know, it's going to be somebody's birthday and so on and so forth. But it's that healing of your body, you know, at 2 or 3 or 4 years out, when you, I mean, you know, what's weird is that I just made my video, and I was trying to, one thing I didn't know, I honestly didn't know, is when I watched that seminar, and I wanted to share it with you as well, because I didn't know this, but scientifically, this doctor was, you know, doing the seminar, and he said that, like, as the years go by with mainly with gastric bypass, some with VSGers, but your dumping goes away. Like, I never knew that. I thought that when you dumped, right, you know, the side effect of the surgery, that the way that your body and your system was working at this point, that it will always be there. And he said no, that in the future, with a lot of patients over 5, 6, 7 years, that it disappears. And that's just, like, for me, because I have it so sort of severely, you know, when I eat certain things, and it's the weirdest things that make me act like that. But it is so, like, not a fun experience, you know, when I dump. But it's just weird, like, to even think that would go away, because I don't even use that as a tool, that, not to go too far either. It's just, I'm so scared of it, you know, because it's so uncomfortable and so miserable to have. Like, it's, especially like when I drink coffee and things like that, I just go through this horrible hot flash, and I didn't have that before surgery. But just, there's certain really weird symptoms, you know. So with this thing that we're doing, I know that it will help a lot of people further out. I mean, in the beginning, you're just conscious, you know. I mean, you're trained. Yeah. You are mentally trained to be so very conscious. But when you start testing that, you know what I mean? It's like a child that you tell them no, and you know, oh, I'm just going to try this, just 1 bite. Oh, I'm just going to try that, you know, just 2 bites. So I think that, you know, as you go forward, you know, it's just harder and harder, because once you're so terrified of it, then you do it, and nothing happens. And
it's
you're
like, what?
Wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. Wait, what? Pizza's supposed to make me, like, deathly ill, right? You know, I'm supposed to be, like, laying on my bed.
Or blow up or something.
Yes. No, seriously. And well, the only thing I can't do, which I really miss, is cereal, just because cereal can be, you know, it can be healthy. I mean, it's not always healthy, but I miss cereal a lot. I tried to eat cereal, and it was, oh my God, it was just a mess. So we've covered hydration. We've covered a little bit of the fitness aspect and what your plans are with that. We've covered nutrition. We've covered some snacks and some supplements. What else do you think, as a whole, other than, you know, these basics that that you found in, I know you mentioned you were in some groups and things like that, and where people were reaching out to you. Was there anything else sort of weird or out of the box that you thought, yeah, that's a good point, you know? Was there anything else that you?
No, I mean, from what I have, and we talked about this kind of early on, whole counterproductive measures that we kind of do sometimes, where we, you know, try to eat really great throughout the day, and then at nighttime we're like, you know, trying to eat up everything in the house, but you know, that wasn't us, that was somebody else.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
carb monster came in
yeah,
and
yeah.
ate up the house. So just making sure that we're aware of, you know, if we're going to eat well throughout the day, we also need to pre-plan. If we're having issues, how about that? If we're having issues in the evening with eating, and we're having issues of overeating, especially for those that are over, you know, 2-3 years out, where that can be an issue more so than our newbies. But our newbies can still eat. They can just kind of eat around the stomach, as they say. We need to try to focus on things that will, or try to get us some things in place that will help us in the evening. So if we know that we're, you know, crazy about carbs, we need to make sure that, one, we don't have as many carbs in the home, or, you know, things that we can kind of, you know, have access to. But also we want to have a plan, like, okay, this is what I'm having for dinner and I've already cooked it, or this is what I'm having for dinner and it's already laid out. Like, all I have to do is just cook it. And then I'm going to maybe do 30 minutes of yoga, or maybe I'm going to read, or maybe I'm going to write down my thoughts for the day. Try to incorporate some things that you can do that can kind of get your mind off of food, if at all possible. That's been helpful for me. Also, how do I stay motivated? And I think we touched base on that. So again, just going back to, you know, doing things that you love. Just because you see other people in the brick and mortar gym doesn't mean that that has to be your gym. Your gym could be your home. Your gym could be the park. Your gym could be, you know, running. Whatever it is that you want to do, have fun with that. And it doesn't have to be in those walls of a gym. Just doesn't. A lot of fun things are done outside the gym. So, so really try to start. If you're first, you know, if you're a newbie, you haven't had the surgery, start thinking about some things that are really going to get you excited and get you motivated, just with you doing those things, not with you seeing other people doing them, but just with you doing those things. And also focus on, like, how do I want to see my body? Like, what are the things that I want to see in the next 6 months or the next year? Where do I want my body to go? How do I want my body to look? Incorporate weights? Do I want to, you know, just straight cardio? Which I do not recommend, but but you know, what are some things that I want to see my body do, and kind of work with that. Find some things on YouTube, Pinterest, and the internet. The internet is your playground to finding really good things for you. And if they're not on the internet, you know, let me know and I will try my best to bring those to you.
And the last thing I was hoping that we could talk about, maybe just really quick, because we're going to go to 7:30 my time, so we have a few minutes left. What about incorporating any kind of, I don't know if you personally do it because I haven't seen you talk about it, but what about like managing stress or meditation? Do you put any of those types of exercises? I mean, you know, not just physically moving, but to, you know, because you've had a lot of things happen, you know, and so have I. And I think, you know, stress can go either way. You know, you're steering the boat, so it's either going to backfire on you or it's going to be a productive thing for you. So do you plan on putting, you know, like, hey, everybody has a bad day, or everybody has tragedy, or everybody has something that's going to overwhelm them? Or do you plan on maybe, or anything that you do in your life? Because I haven't seen you talk in your channel, you know, or anything about if you meditate, you know, or how you manage overwhelming stress, you know, or anything that might like bring you down, you know, and out of your routine.
That's very crazy that you say that. Yeah, Jamie and I have been talking about this for a long time now. Meditation is something that I'm very interested in, and would really on. I guess for me, I'm just like, it's quiet enough to not have the thoughts going, you know, in my head. But he has meditated already, and that is something I'm very eager to do and get started on. But besides meditation, which I strongly promote, So if you are meditating, kudos to you. If not, I think it's a wonderful thing to do to just kind of get you centered. But definitely writing stuff down, that kind of pulls the shades, and I'm just kind of like, okay, what happened today? And I'll just write it down. I got some journals, which everything happens for a reason, but I got some journals and I've been journaling, just being grateful to be in the moment. Sometimes we just get so overwhelmed and so exhausted that we just don't sit back and realize how much we actually have and how much we need to be so thankful for. When I had my incident, when I was running, I had to really sit down and realize that I could have died. Like, I could not be here right now talking to you, going through the moments that I've gone through after getting hit. Like 2 weeks later, I was asked, or a week later, I was asked to do something for my bariatric center. I mean, those kind of things may be like disconnected, but for me, they all connected. Like, I needed to be there to get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, every movement we make makes sense in the long run. Everything's connected. So if you can find time and space and stillness and quiet to do meditation, I so think I think that's a wonderful thing to do. Writing it down is key for me. It just, again, just keeps me, got to get that humbleness going. And just being proud of who you are, where you are. Or maybe 400 pounds, a year ago, and now you're 290 pounds. That is something to be so like excited about, because you could have still been that person. You could have still been in that skin and still having those same feelings. And now you're progressing. You hit a stall. You may have hit a rock. You may have hit, a place of just being in this lull. But if you can find something that'll kind of jog you and get you back to where you need to be, something that'll get your mojo back going, just thinking, man, I've done some last year. Like, I've conquered a lot of great things. People that talk to me a certain way, they don't talk to me like that anymore. The things that I used to wear, I don't wear those things anymore. The people that I hung out with, I don't hang out with them anymore. And I'm the better for it. So sometimes you just have to kind of get yourself to like realize that, man, I've done some great things, or man, I'm a good person, and write the stuff down. Write the stuff that you're thinking, or, Bob made me mad at work and this is why I felt this way. If it'll get you to, if you can do that versus eating your feelings, you're 100% for it. You have done something wonderful. You have done something great. Because that old person, that old you, would not have handled that situation.
Well, I agree, and that's why I brought that up, because I feel like fitness is a circle. You know what I mean? It's everything. It's mind, body, and soul. That's why that's why it's brought out in yoga. That's why it's brought out in some of the slower and more deep, types of exercise, because how you breathe, how you handle things, what is your first action, or what is your first reaction to an action? You know what I mean? So that's why I said that, just because people think it's silly, but it really isn't, because when you step back and you examine how you got there and why you made this decision, especially when you get further out, because you can, take a few steps back, and you can, gain some weight, and you can try to make changes, and maybe they might not work. You know what I mean? Like they did in the beginning. So finding new ways of reinventing yourself, or, reinventing how you're helping yourself keep the lifestyle, because I'm so glad we use the word lifestyle, because that's what it really is. I mean, it's not just the first couple of years. People get caught up in the honeymoon, and it's very much like a relationship. This surgery experience. It's all the excitement when you first learn about it. Then you're in it and you have it, and you're losing weight. It's just melting off, and you're like, you just peeling your skin off, and you're shopping like crazy, and you're taking 100 selfies. You know what I mean? And then, time goes by a little bit further, and then you're proud of maintenance, and then the weight kind of creeps up a little bit later, and you shy, you're not taking as many selfies anymore. Instead you're taking pictures of whatever. So You know, I'm, yeah, see, I mean, it's the funny way that this all works out. So I'm really happy that we talked about that as well. Cause I know Melody has a plan, you know, to get in some deep topics about, you know, some education and so on and so forth for different surgeries and really examining self-image and those, she's going to be, you know, covering those areas. So I'm really happy that we talked about that, just because I think people they don't put two and two together, you know, when it comes, they more or less associate fitness with food. You know, it's like what you're doing and how you're burning it off, and it's not really how you're feeling or, you know, what your attitude is, and it really is all relevant. You know what I mean? It's all one big thing. So I'm glad we talked about that. Before we close the show, though, I wanted to congratulate you as well. Hello, on your video. I saw your doctor posted, and I saw your video, and you said thank you so much, and it was just so amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me really fast, what was that like? Like, what was that whole experience like? That was so awesome.
It was absolutely crazy. I went in November 9th, and like I said, that was shortly after my incident, and we did a few seconds or a few minutes, excuse me, of me talking, which you see in the beginning, and that was there. And while I was in there, I was talking. The gentleman, Nick, he was actually over it, and he was saying, "So, do you have social media?" And I was like, "I sure do." And he was like, "So, what's your, you know, channel name?" And I gave him all that information. I want to have her in some workout stuff. We want to, okay. And so he gave me his card, and, you know, I didn't think anything of it. You know, I was just like, he'll probably never call me. You know, so they'll probably just make the video.
Yeah.
And there were two other people in there, you know, telling their story. But I was the only one that he actually came back and was like, okay, we're going to actually do a story on you. So, and we're going to post to the website. Absolutely crazy. And that's why I say everything happens for a reason. And yeah, so it was absolutely crazy. I went to my support group. They showed it at the beginning. They showed it at the end.
Oh my God, that's so
it
awesome.
I mean, completely craziness. The amount of love that I got on Facebook, you know, that's the kind of stuff that you're just like, really? Like, how does it happen to, you know?
But, you know, I mean, you know, good fortune works in many ways, and it's not always, you know, green. So it's, you know what I mean? Right. Like, it's just phenomenal. But I mean, you know, you worked really hard, you know, and I think that when someone notices how hard you work and it's a random, you know what I mean? It's just, it sort of happens like you said. I mean, everything kind of just falls into place when it's supposed to happen, and timing is everything, you know? So I'm so excited that, and like Takesha and I were talking the other day, and I was just like, you're going to be a star. Seriously, you're going to be a rock star. Everything takes time, you know? So I don't believe in rushing anything. That's not my frame of mind. But seriously, I mean, it's like, that's what I was telling her. I was like, are you going to do instructional videos for us? Are you going to be like the next Leslie Sansom? You know what I mean? I mean, are you going to, like, because I feel like I feel like some of these crazy, like P90X and all these, I mean, I don't mean to say ridiculous, because they work for some people, and the Brazilian butt, you know what I mean? And all this crazy stuff. But I mean, I feel like people have to be realistic in order to keep a regiment that's real, you know, that they can hang on to. And when they're ready to change, then of course they can advance. But I just wanted to bring something that's like, and you were just the perfect person. And Shannon just texted me, by the way, and said, don't you dare get off air and not tell her that I said hi. So Shannon said hi. She loves you. She's so happy to see you on the show and talking about this stuff, because she's just doing amazing.
Let me just say, this chick right here is beautiful. Please let her know that I said that, because she is killing it. Hairdressing 101. I'm in color and highlights. No, she is amazing and doing a wonderful job. I mean, 100 pounds gone.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, I mean, she's like maybe close to 6 months right now. Like, she's not even, I don't even think she's quite 6 months yet. And she's just like, I mean, she's amazing. She really is. She's adorable in person. She's even more beautiful than you like imagine. She's so very warm. She's a very nice person, and she's just she's so bashful too. It's really weird, because you think, you know, she's so beautiful, you think she'd just be like out. She's very bashful. It's funny, but I can't wait. I really honestly cannot wait for us to experience WLSFA, because I just think she's gonna, you know, she's talked about, because she has small ones, you know, so she's talked about, oh, I don't know if I can, and I said, you're not, you're going. However I can make this happen for you, you are willing. You know, don't leave me
Well,
hanging.
I'm excited to see everyone. I'll be getting my ticket here soon. I just want to meet everybody and just be like, what's up? So,
Yeah.
there's so many people I want to meet. I want to meet you guys.
Yes, of course.
We
We'll
have
wait to
to.
work out with you. We're bringing our Takesha, By the way, you guys, okay, so I have been working on a line for Takesha because I'm not excited about this whole thing we're spinning out. And I just, you know, Get Fit with Takesha. That's, I mean, it's BBTV Fitness. That's gonna be, you know, one of our hashtag, but it's Get Fit with Takesha, and I'm stirring up all these little cool clothes that I possibly can, and you'll be seeing her as soon as I can get that gear on her body. She's gonna be wearing it. But I mean, it's just this. That's how excited I am about this thing. I just know it's going to go well, and we're so excited. And at WLSFA, we are going to be wearing BBT Fitness, and we're going to do some kind of workout together. You're going to lead us, and I can't wait to see you. So I'm just so excited. I mean, this whole experience is it's just really phenomenal. Thank you so very much, seriously, for being a part of this. I came to you months and months ago, and I'm so blessed to have you, you know, with us. I mean, seriously.
Like you have been, like, as you said, the Oprah of this entire thing. And really from it, you have worked so very hard. There's so much behind the scenes stuff that I'm just in awe. I'm just like, how much time in the day? But you really, really have done a fantastic job. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done.
Of course,
yeah.
Anytime. I'm so happy that we've got this launched, you know, and there's still some extensions I can't, you know, spin out as fast as I want to, but I hope that, you know, I can bring a variety of things to, you know, the community, because like, as I mentioned from the very beginning, I just think, you know, it all falls into play, you know, the way you eat, cooking, you know, the whole thing, and anything we can do to just affect one person to be successful at 4 or 5 years out, you know, and still be proud that they've kept the weight off, and even with the regain, it's been small, you know. So I feel like it's all one piece, you know. It all comes together like a puzzle, and I'm just so blessed. I'm so happy that you're okay from your incident. I'm so happy that all these wonderful things are happening to you because you deserve them. And I'm just so happy that we're doing this. I mean, I'm so happy that you've agreed to come on board, and I'm grateful for all of you. I mean, all of you guys, Jody and Melody and you and Shannon, you all have something to bring that's different, and I really feel like our community needs that, you know. So I'm just stoked. I mean, I'm stoked about this whole thing. And yes, I have a lot of things going on in my personal life that, you know, that have been hard. But, you know, when you have a lot of stuff happening kind of consistently, my dad's been sick for a long time, you know, so you learn how to balance. You know, you just learn how to go with the flow, and hopefully, you know, I've got something special going on for WLSFA too that I'm very excited, and I can't wait to, you know, let people in more on that when we get that spun out. So I mean, I'm just like, I just can't, and you know, I feel like slow is better, to be honest. I mean, I feel like you have to build, you know, you have to be patient for something to be successful, and I'm very excited that we're doing this, you know, smart and slow, and just doing things one thing at a time. And yes, so Takesha will have her own fitness activewear line. I posted it on our page, I believe, and let her know some samples and so on. And I'm still playing with some ideas, but you know, we will be at WLSFA, and we hope that, you know, we can work out together and have some fun and meet all you guys. So so in closing, I mean, I'm just so happy that you and Still I Rise, right? That's my favorite video from what's her name? Come on, help me out. I was just thinking, Maya Angelou. You know, it's one of my favorites. Seriously, it's really effective. I sent it to Alicia too, and she was having some issues, and she was like, "I cannot believe you sent this to me." It's just one of those things. When I was going to school a few years ago, it stuck with me, and I really enjoyed it. It's very inspiring and motivating. You know, so I'm just so happy. Congratulations on the video. Seriously, I mean, it was phenomenal. It was just, I mean, it was so cool. I was like, hey, I know her. I know that girl. So it's super exciting. So I wish you nothing but success moving forward. I mean, you've already achieved well and above, I'm sure, what you had imagined. And I can't wait to see what 2016 holds for you, because I know it's going to be a lot more than you anticipate. So thank you so much for being here. I'm serious, and just letting people in on what we're going to do. So.
Yes. And if you have any questions or any comments or any suggestions for the shows that are upcoming, please let me know. I will try to get them out as quickly as possible. I hope to have the first one out by next week. So we'll be more on a I guess on a schedule. We'll talk
actually, I was going to ask you just in closing this, what is your plan? Because I don't think we actually summed that up. What can people expect? Is it once a week, once a month, bi-weekly? How can they expect your your series to be posted?
I think right now I would love to do once a week. I think just for all the ideas that we've kind of thrown out, I think it would be unjust for me not to kind of crank out some videos for you guys. So especially at the beginning of the year, so that you can kind of build upon and kind of keep it moving. So yeah, we're gonna do it once a week.
Okay, and I believe that we've decided Sundays. Is that right, to get the week going? So we'll be posting her videos on Sunday morning or sometime, during the midday, because we're all in different time zones. So you can look forward to what she's sharing to launch your week. We want to thank you guys for watching. Happy 2016. We're hoping that this is going to be a great year for everyone. We just know it will be. There's been so much, so many blessings already happening that we're just really excited. And no matter what comes your way, don't ever gear off and think that you can't make a video or reach out to anyone that has anyone in the community, because everyone is really helpful. This is one of the most just empathetic and supportive and inspiring communities that you will ever be a part of. Seriously, if you are just starting out and you're playing around with YouTube and you're just trying to find people to watch, reach out. Seriously, don't ever let anybody, don't ever be intimidated or think that you can't reach out to someone that you see or that you really like, because it'll really surprise you how supportive people really are. So thank you guys so very much. We will be back on Wednesday. I can't tell you who the guest is because I don't know, but we will be back next week on Wednesday at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. Take care, you guys. Happy New Year, and we will see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.